America. Is America becoming mediocre? Now, there's a lot of things that I want to tackle, but when I'm talking about becoming mediocre, I'm talking about the willingness or the lack of efficiency, the lack of top tier performances. I want to say this. We'll come piece by piece, and I got a very interesting message, so that's why I had to check it out. Let's kind of break this down piece by piece. And if I'm wrong, you can let me know I'm wrong. But this is what I'm seeing, and I'm going to talk about it. First, let's talk about the sports business, where the question kind of derived from. We get the NBA when it comes down to it. The NBA is, or let's start with the NFL since Tom Brady is the one who raised the question. We got the NFL with Tom Brady. Tom Brady said the NFL is becoming a little bit mediocre. We're seeing the performances right now this season. While a lot of young quarterbacks are not playing at the highest of levels, the offenses are not being nearly as efficient. And even though you could argue the defenses are getting better, it just seems like football is not as great as it once was. It seems like people are relying too much on their raw talent and raw ability without focusing on certain aspects of the job at hand that led them to this point: the fundamentals, the game, the understanding of the game. Someone like Patrick Mahomes is definitely doing it, but obviously the majority of the NFL is not reaching that same level of understanding the game, understanding the nuances. Raw ability allows you to be mediocre. Raw talent allows you to be mediocre. You can work hard all you want, but there's certain details regarding the NFL game that is very important to understand to truly get where you need to be. And this is what Tom Brady saw, which is why he called it mediocre. Similar stuff is going on with the NBA, for being completely honest. There are certain things in the NBA that, in the current NBA, that obviously you're going to enjoy. But there's reasons why offenses is getting higher. And when you're watching a lot of offenses, there are reasons why people are saying that they like certain things from the WNBA or the NCAA over the NBA. There's too much of a lack of raw talent and raw athleticism over scheming, action, screens, cuts, double screens, floating players in certain spots of the court. When I watch the Pacers play on offense, I'm loving what I'm seeing because it seems like they truly are paying attention to what is going on. But most NBA teams just try to allow their players to go off. They take the easiest shot, which is a 3-point shot, to score their points. They do ISO plays or pick and rolls, but never truly go beyond what is in terms of American basketball. The reason why I pointed out American basketball is because we've seen other individuals adopt that more fundamental style of understanding the game. International players. There's a reason why international players are at the top and the most elite players in the NBA right now. Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, Giannis. Even if people that's not necessarily from America but are from maybe Canada, like Shea, Jamal Murray. Yes, we still got a lot of amazing American NBA talent, but suffice it to say, there seems to be a running trend on why certain players are better than the others. Luka and Jokic and what they're able to do on the court without that raw talent, raw athleticism should speak volumes to the NBA. We have other international players that are playing out of their mind as well. You have people like Franz Wagner doing great things, of course. We got people like Wemby, a freak of nature. So I think that's another important aspect, that a lot of good players in the NBA are becoming more and more international based. Again, is America becoming mediocre? I'm not going to talk about the other sports because I don't watch it. Baseball or soccer, football, however you want to say it. But we'll be talking about other sections of America. Let's talk about the music business. The music business, as of right now, you can call me an old hand all you want, but let's recognize that it's also becoming very mediocre. It's relying on very basic messaging, but good beats to appeal to people. There's a reason why, when it comes down to every new artist, they all sound the exact same. They got the auto tune. They're saying very similar things in terms of guns and all that stuff. Even the female artists are becoming more mediocre. All they are showing is their sex appeal. The top female artists nowadays are people like Sexy Red and Ice Spice. They aren't like that. I'll be honest, they just aren't. I don't see the appeal. They just make catchy tunes. A lot of the current art in terms of music doesn't, as they say, hit the same. It doesn't hit the same. So our music industry seems to become mediocre. They have a formula they're abiding by that makes money. And a lot of this mediocre nature is really coming back to the easiest way to success. That is the big thing in the conversation. Easiest way to success. I guess that's the capitalist formula to an extent. The easiest way to success. We see it in the music industry. Very, very specific, easy ways to success. And I guess that is what it is, right? Because it goes beyond the music, it goes beyond the sports. What about when it comes down to other forms of consuming information? Even individuals are becoming more mediocre. When you scroll on TikTok, it's so easy to get instant gratification in terms of the media that you are consuming. Let's be very clear. I'm a victim of this as well because I don't want to put top tier editing all the time. I just say my opinion. But the stuff that goes viral, the stuff that people eat every day, are some of the most lamest pranks that I've seen in my life. Some of the most lamest dances and so simple media TikTok dances that I've seen. There's no true art. There's no true art to the pranks, to the jokes, to the dances, but those are trending. Mediocre forms of entertainment abide by the algorithm, which is another reason why people are becoming mediocre. They're just following a formula and just finding the quickest way to achieve that formula and gaining instant success. What about movies and TVs? Are they struggling? Well, yes, ladies and gentlemen, they are struggling as well. Marvel is struggling as much as it is struggling in terms of the lack of satisfaction from its movies. The MCU has to do a whole recall in terms of how bad they have been doing recently. The Marvels completely flopped. They're relying on a simple formula. They're relying on a woke agenda and think that people are just going to eat it up. Even their Disney products have been great. You've seen that Wish movie? That Wish movie is terrible. Some of the stuff that DC's putting out hasn't been as great as it should be. Mediocre entertainment, not achieving success. And I'll be honest, I haven't been watching TV as much as I have before. Well, we do recognize that a lot of the TV series that have existed in the past are just better. I'll be honest, Friends is one of and I haven't watched Seinfeld, but even Seinfeld, there's a reason why those shows just top any sitcom that comes out now, because they cared about their craft. The relationships between the characters seem so natural and genuine. Shout out Big Bang Theory, because I think they did a very good job too. Now TV's trying to follow formula. Mediocre. That is what TV and movies becoming. So music is becoming mediocre. TV is becoming mediocre. Movies are becoming mediocre. Sports are becoming mediocre. People are becoming mediocre. What about politics? Is politics becoming mediocre? That's the big one. Politics. Well, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, the answer is yes. Politics has become one of probably the most mediocre it's ever been. Because people are not paying attention to the right things. They're getting consumed by very easy rhetoric on both the left and the right. Oh, if something's racist, if something happens to a minority, it's racist. If someone disagrees with the LGBTQ, it's homophobic or transphobic. If we're talking about a Republican getting in trouble, oh, it's corruption. Oh, if we're talking about when it comes to books in school that talking about puberty, all those books should be gone. The conversations have been so baseline. They don't really go into the details and the nuance behind the value of each and every conversation that needs to be held to create a better society. It's getting lazy because it's easier to appeal to the people if you make things very simple for them to emotionally react to understand emotionally. It's easy to react to something if you think it's just racist, transphobic, corrupt, pedophilic. It's easy to react to things that way. And we see people doing that consistently, especially on social media. Both on the left and the right are having these problems right now. And politicians are eating them up. That's why people like Vivek and Donald Trump are so insanely popular. They know how to appeal to people. They know the formula that it takes to win. They're using the formula the easiest way they know how and capturing you guys like sheep. The left has the same issues, so don't worry. Ultimately, the reason why I created the podcast episode to say whether or not America is becoming mediocre is to really highlight that America, as of right now, obviously is progressing in terms of technology, in terms of values potentially, not American values, but understanding of one's others more so than the past, and understanding different international affairs that are going around the world. And we're getting better at things. Like, we're becoming better video gamers. We're becoming better NBA athletes, NFL athletes, of course. But the details, the capitalist system, the way people are getting notoriety, fame, money, the way people are losing purpose and are immediately gaining purpose the easiest ways you can are potentially damaging. How do you fix something that is like this as of right now? Well, this is how I would go about it. Instill the values all over again. At every level. Instill the values all over again. And what it's going to take is for the people to care. You're getting products pushed in your face constantly. You're getting very easy things to consume based off the system that we have currently in place. The easy cheeseburger to order on DoorDash. The easy TikTok video to watch on TikTok. The easy music to listen to because it's just a bop and it makes you feel good. What about the craft? What about reaching the pinnacles of what it means to be human? The best food, the best music, the best acting, the best television, the best politicians. What we need are expectations. What we need is demanding excellence. All of y'all want something from the other side. All of y'all want something from someone else. So expect greatness not only from yourself, but from the things that you are consuming. Don't allow our society to become mediocre. Don't allow America to fall from its own progression and it fall from its own greatness. Because America is great, but its greatness is making us dull. So those are very important things that I want you to understand, and I hope that you do. With that said, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of the podcast. Tune in next week, of course. Merry Christmas. Y'all have a good one. Take care, and peace. If you want to watch the full episode of this podcast, make sure you go on Roku TV and watch it on the Planet X network, where you can watch the full video version for the podcast. Again, go to Planet X Network on Roku.tv to watch the full version. I hope you do enjoy. Of course, you can still listen to the full audio version on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any other podcast platform you listen to podcasts.